Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Beba and I'm so happy to have you guys here today. Today I have a super exciting video for you guys. I'm talking all about project management. I have been a project manager for a couple months now, and I just want to let you guys know all of the tips and tricks I did to be able to land this position. I guess we can go ahead and get started with what exactly is a project manager. So the basic definition on Google is a project manager is a professional who organizes, plans, and executes projects while working with restraints like budgets and schedules. That basic definition is accurate. My project management position is a little bit more niched into kind of mixed with a client specialist. So I have a variety of clients that I oversee within the company I work at, and I oversee all of the projects going on with these clients. If we owe them something, I'm just managing that as a project and seeing what is the project needing in order to get this to the finish line. What's the scope? Do we need to increase our team size? Do we have the budget to add members? Things like that. I want to go ahead and talk about my day-to-day. I'm very fortunate to be able to work remote. So I work from home and the company I work at is based out in Florida. So with the time difference, I start work at 7:30 in the morning and I get out at 4. So my day starts really early at around 6:30 a.m. I get ready, and because I work with clients and I have meetings all day, I do have to do my hair and makeup even though I work remote. Once I'm ready, I go ahead and log into my computer and I just basically see what's going on. Like, what did I leave on the previous day and what do I need to start on today? So I go through my to-do list, I check my emails to see if anyone replied to me yesterday, I see what else I have to do, and just prepare myself so in the morning I'm almost, I don't want to say playing catch up, but I'm ensuring that I have everything prepared so I can execute items that need to be done by the end of the day. I schedule meetings to see if we need to catch up on the status of the project or I need assistance with leadership. I communicate with team members to ensure that the status of our project is moving along and that there's nothing hindering us from completing it within the scope of time that we committed to. Around the evening, that's when I have a lot of meetings with clients. So I'll go ahead and start the meetings and I'll begin to run through all of the items that we discussed in our previous meeting, where we are with those projects, and if they have any updates for us that they would like for us to include or exclude, or if they even have items that they owe us. So that's the basis of our meeting. Once the meeting's over, I always like to send a recap email. And a recap email just consists of the main points that we've talked about. I include deliverables, which are items that we owe, receivables, which are items that the client owes us, and I also include action items, and then I also include notes. This recap email goes to all of the team members internally that revolve around this project, as well as externally that revolve around this project. So in case they missed the meeting or in case they need to refer back to, everyone can go back and look at the recap email and kind of remember what was going on. So once I send out my recap emails and I finish all my meetings for the day, what I like to do is just go ahead and go through my checklist, evaluate everything I did that day, and see what else is needing to be done. I check up with team leaders and senior managers to see where they're at, how they're feeling, and just trying to get a gist of, is the project on the right scope, and is there anything that I need to ask of the client? It's important as a project manager that we're not only requesting and demanding items from our team members, but also creating an environment that allows our team to efficiently execute the project. So we don't want our project to be rushed and done quickly and then have a project that's completed but needs to be constantly reworked. We want it to be done, over with, and once we give it to the client, that's the end of that project and we can move on to something else. I just will say that my day-to-day really revolves around meetings constantly. I constantly have to have my face on camera, have a smile, and be able to just communicate clearly with all of the individuals I'm talking to. Now I want to get into how did I become a project manager, how did I hear about it, what made me interested in it, and my tips and tricks. I didn't really know what I wanted to do as a career in my life. I have tried several avenues. I got my degree in biology. I didn't want to become a doctor. I tried out law school. I didn't want to be a lawyer. I worked at law firms as case managers. Didn't like that necessarily. So I was honestly one of the people who was just notoriously scrolling through TikTok, trying to figure out what careers are out there in tech. That was one of the avenues that I was always very scared about since I didn't get a software engineer or computer engineering degree. I thought I would never be able to get a job in tech. I also didn't know what kind of jobs tech people did. I thought it was just data analysts and data scientists. So I was scrolling through TikTok and saw a girl post, hey, like, do you want a job in tech? These are some positions you can get: product, project, data analyst, etc. Project management really piqued my interest. It involves just managing a lot of projects, which you do in an everyday basis. I really wanted to try becoming a project manager initially, and I do want to move up to product, but I'm gonna go the slow route and learn as much as possible. I did a lot of research, found out how to become a project manager, what would be best on my resume, what courses I can take, things like that. With the research of trying to figure out what kind of course to take to become a project manager, you don't necessarily have to take a course, but again, you're competing with a lot of people who have certificates. And so I wanted to make sure that I could definitely get the job. So I went ahead and took the Google Coursera project management course, which is fairly inexpensive and it was really easy to complete. It's at your own pace and it's very elaborate in all of the details. I thought it was very helpful. So I took that course, put that thing on my resume and blasted it on LinkedIn. And I also made it very clear with my employer on what I wanted to do. So another thing that I'm very fortunate is that I work at a startup company where vertical growth is easily accessible. With startup companies, you are able to move up the chain of command very quickly than it would take average at a corporate company. I actually have 3 promotions within less than 1 year working at this company, and I worked my way up into project management, which I'm one of the only individuals who have done that, but I made my intentions very clear. I would highly recommend just sending out your resume everywhere as possible, doing research on how the best resume as a project manager would look like, keywords that you should include. There's a lot of resources. I hate to say this, but you can also go on TikTok and look at a lot of recommendations. Honestly, I know some people laugh at TikTok that it's just like a dancing app, but also use it as a resource because people are putting in their information, tips and tricks to what they used. So that's what I did and it really did help me out. How's my work-life balance? I don't know if it's because I work at a startup or I have a large workload or anything, but sometimes my work-life balance is not the best. I tend to stay up late working at times until 11 p.m. and that's because we have a lot of items that need to be organized, or we need to figure out what's going on with this project, what went wrong and how can we fix it. Or I'm just trying to catch up because I had too many responsibilities to get done in the day and I wasn't able to get my regular day-to-day work completed that I need for it to be done for the next day. Now, sometimes I don't have any work at all and it's pretty great. So I can like leave early and get things done and then clock in later on in the day and make sure I have nothing outstanding. Now, I don't want to generalize my work-life balance with another project manager's work-life balance, only because I don't mind taking work into my evenings until late at night, only because I have really nothing else to do. I'm watching Netflix after I eat dinner, and if I have to pop on my computer and reply to some emails, it doesn't harm me in any way. So I do that. I don't find it hindering that I'm missing parties or I'm missing date night with my boyfriend or anything like that. If I do have something scheduled in my personal life, I make that very clear with my colleagues and my manager, and I am able to go do that. It's never where my company's forcing me to stay late. It's always out of my willingness to stay late. Now, I guess we can get into the pros and cons of being a project manager. When you're a project manager, I feel like there's a lot of pros. You're able to see the company in a bird's eye view. You see what's wrong, what is going well, and what can be improved. If you're an employee just producing the work, you don't really get to see like what's going on with the company. You don't get to see the drama, the tea, what's happening, what's anything. It's really nice to see like where the company actually is. And especially with my vertical growth, I have seen a lot more transparency within the company than I did when I initially started there. So if you're a curious cat, that's something that is pretty cool. I would honestly say it's pretty flexible in the hours. If you have days with a lot of client calls, obviously like maybe don't take that day off, but some days you won't have a lot of client calls and you can also move them around. You have the authority to change these calls to almost better suit your schedule and also the schedules of everyone else. But typically people seem to be very lenient on when these meetings are, and they're very keen on changing them sometimes because you never know if the meeting being moved an hour later, an hour earlier might also better the other individual schedule as well. Some cons are sometimes people get really mad or they think you're nagging at them to get the item that they promised to deliver. It never feels good to constantly check up on an individual if their deliverable is past due. It makes it seem like you're micromanaging them when in reality you're just trying to get a better understanding of what happened that they needed more time, just so in the future when a similar request from the client comes in, you can extend the amount of time. I feel like that is a give and take for your company. If you have employees that really deliver the project on time or the items that you need on time, you will not have that issue. If you're an individual who is very organized, loves to keep track of little items across the board, likes to know what's going on within the company and how you can officially execute the project being requested, then I would say project management is for you. But if you're an individual who doesn't like to be on calls, that isn't very organized, doesn't like to schedule many items, but instead you like all of that to be done for you, I would suggest not being a project manager. But again, you can always try it, and if you like it, you like it. I mean, people change all the time. So that's all I had for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions or felt like I could have covered something else, please let me know down in the comments below. If you guys can please go ahead and hit the like button and also subscribe for some more content, I would really appreciate it. It really does help out my channel. And until then, see you guys next time. Bye!